Welcome back, Reds fans. So, today we're going to be talking about Liverpool, and obviously, like you, I'm also disappointed. I'm disappointed because, like you, I'm a hardcore Liverpool fan. I bleed red. I watch everything I can find on YouTube. I go through the internet constantly trying to find speculation or anything that's going to give me some hope about what the team is going to do to get better moving forward. And obviously, when I saw Zuamendi being talked about as a potential number 6 for Liverpool, I was super excited. When I saw him and seeing him play in obviously the Euros and him sort of step in for Spain and play so well, and then watching, of course, highlights of him and things, I thought he's kind of the perfect midfielder for Slot's style of play. Not a monster midfielder who's just going to sit back and stop the other team's plays, but a guy who's going to weave together with the squad. Kind of what people envision Arnold being able to do. But obviously, he's not a midfielder. He's not as comfortable in that position because he hasn't spent his whole career at that position doing these kind of things. Whereas Zuamendi, comfortable with both feet, comfortable getting the ball from the back, moving it forward, whether pushing it forward or with a pass, going into the gaps, opening up the defense with his movement, with his passes, and obviously benefiting the team moving forward, right? And I thought he's the perfect complementary player. I made a video. If you haven't seen it, you can go back and look at it. He was also talking about the other midfielder that people were very excited about as well, the Brazilian kid. And when I watched the two of them, I thought Zuamendi was a much better fit for what Liverpool wanted to do. So I was really disappointed hearing that he wasn't going to join the team. And after all this excitement, all this hype that we got from social media, from the internet, and all the pundits, really getting us juiced for the first signing under the Slot regime, I was excited, right? If that was the only signing we would have got, and then of course maybe the backup goalie from Valencia, I would have been very excited, very happy with the team moving forward. I think sometimes one player can make a huge difference. We saw that obviously with Fabinho when he joined the squad. We saw that with Van Dijk when he joined the squad. That one player who was integral to the style of play really was a complete difference maker. And I felt that Zuamendi would potentially do the same thing for Liverpool, as well as the depth we have in the position, a lot of youth, a lot of players that can potentially grow within the squad and just give us a lot of depth and a lot of versatility. But once again, the same shit has unfolded. Different management, different, obviously, coach or gaffer or whatever you want to call him. Not Klopp anymore, but Slot, right? Not the same people that were running the office earlier, but obviously new complete people. Some people who obviously came back to the team, but nonetheless, some new people. But yet the same fucking results ended up happening. We were chasing, of course, Tchouaméni. And I thought at the time he was perfect for Klopp's system, right? A guy that was a killer in the midfield, right? A guy that would sit back and really allow us to be aggressive moving forward, knowing that we had him to protect us behind. Not the kind of player Slot wants, but perfect for Klopp's system. But unfortunately, he chose to go to Real Madrid. I mean, you can't really criticize him because Real Madrid has been really the best team in world football and only getting better, right? I've never been a Real Madrid fan, even though obviously I was a Zinedine Zidane fanatic. So, I mean, I like Zidane, but I never really liked Real Madrid and the deep pocket style of creating a team that they did. They kind of the ultimate fantasy team, right? That just buys whoever they want in a particular position. Example, Mbappe joined the squad now. I mean, the rich get richer. You figure, how does a team like them afford to add players like this to the team consistently, year after year after year after year? Whereas Liverpool can't get a fucking $51 million player in the door. So he didn't get Tchouaméni. Then, of course, there was talk that, well, we were going to get Bellingham. Bellingham really was keen to join Liverpool. Bellingham would be the new Steven Gerrard. Jared. Yeah, don't mind me. And obviously, you know, that would have been his dream. That was what he's really looking for. He wasn't really the kind of player that fit really what we're looking for, because obviously he's much more of a forward player, not a sit-back defender type of player. Not as tactical as a Zuamendi, right, who can flow throughout the midfield. A guy that's much more physical, a dominant player, jumping into the front, filling the gaps, putting in goals, you know, being a real sort of physical entity on the floor. But then he went to Real Madrid, joining that midfield, which was unbelievable. And then you add him to it, and all of a sudden, we're talking about fucking ridiculous. Then, of course, we're going to get McAllister's teammate. And you figure that's perfect. These two guys have experience playing with each other. It would be great. We stole him from Chelsea. Everything's going to work out. But then, of course, that doesn't work out, even though we're going to pay over $100 million for him. Then, of course, we have Levia from Southampton. A good player, but young, right? Is he going to impact the team as much as these other guys are going to, right? He might take time to fit in the system. And then, of course, I mean, thank our lucky stars, he got hurt, didn't fucking play at all last year. But another player we ended up losing because of Chelsea's deep pockets, because of Real Madrid's deep pockets. And then this year, Zuamendi. And people are literally talking about him going to Real Madrid next year. And I'm like, really? First of all, as a Spanish player who's so fucking tight with my team, I can't imagine leaving this team to go to fucking Real Madrid and not coming under huge scrutiny by my hometown fans. Because literally that's like a Liverpool fucking legend going to fucking Man U. Going to Everton. Right? Like, you do that and basically you're telling the supporters to go fuck themselves. And that's how I kind of feel like with him potentially going to Real Madrid. I don't know if it's true or not, but when I heard that, I'm like, give me a fucking break. Him coming to England, regardless of it being Liverpool or another team, makes tons of sense. You're coming to the best league in world football. You're going to join a team that obviously is going to be playing in Champions League, fighting for, you know, the title as the best team in the league, right? You're going to get paid shitloads of cash. You're also not really offending your Spanish fans because you're moving to a whole new country to try something new. And people can respect that, right? It's like, you know, when the great Liverpool midfielder, McManaman, ended up going to play for Real Madrid. I fucking love McManaman, the way he played, right? This is how long I've been a Liverpool fan. And when he went, I was really disappointed because I love McManaman. I thought Liverpool at that time was great, and he was fucking such a great midfielder, right? But then, I mean, I still was a big fan. And he went to Real Madrid, played great, brought his same sort of great style of play to the Real Madrid squad. You know, I couldn't hate on him because he wasn't really taking away from Liverpool within the league, right? He was seeking something bigger, taking a big risk, going to a bigger squad, and shooting for fucking the gusto, right? Going for greatness. But now we hear that Liverpool isn't interested in getting a 6. For me, I just hope that this is just talk, that they don't want to fucking end up shooting themselves in the foot like they did last year. And on the downside, they're like working out a deal to get fucking some midfield support to the team, as well as a potential young center back, as well as a fucking backup for Robertson, right? There was talk about us getting this young Brazilian player, Argentinian player, who looked really good. I'm like, yeah, go sign him, right? Somebody that's going to bring flair, somebody that's got fresh legs. can stretch the field, add width to the team. Sort of the perfect complementary player for the way Slot plays. He loves wings that are going to give him width, right? Guys that have speed on the outside. Kind of like Frimpong last year for his squad. Was that his squad? Or am I getting, I think I'm getting Alonso's team mixed up. Maybe. I can't remember. But tell me in the comment section below. But nonetheless, I thought, I'm like you, I'm like anyone. I love seeing new youth come to the squad. At the same time, I'm gutted that we lose Cavallo, that we fucking gonna lose, obviously, what's his face, who potentially is going out for 10 million to go to Germany, Clark. I'd love to see these young players blossom in Liverpool and go on to become superstar players that help lead Liverpool in the future. But obviously, not all of them are going to do that. You can't expect every single great player from the under-21s to end up developing into a starter for Liverpool. That's just not going to happen. If we get 2 or 3 Trey, Neone, Dans, and maybe another guy, then we're doing great. Literally. If we get more than that, that would be fucking unbelievable. You could not imagine, right? Like you look at Barcelona, they consistently do that. Consistently pushing out great fucking players for the team. They're killing them, burning them out too early. But when you think about Gavi, Pedri, the young black kid that did he come to England? I can't remember his name. Also a short sort of name. What's his name? And then of course the kid this year as well, from Spain. Can't pronounce his name, but another great young player out of Barcelona. That's what I hope and envision for Liverpool. That we're going to come out with players like this every year, a new guy who really makes a dent in the squad. So we don't need to always be chasing these big money signings from around the world, and we can build from within. And obviously that's the vision, and that's what I'd love to see. But yet, if we're challenging for Champions League, FA Cup, Carlsberg Cup, or Caribou Cup, as I like to call it, being Canadian, obviously the league, then you're going to need to spend some money. You're going to have to get guys that are a little more developed, guys that are a little more ready to produce right away. It's okay to have these kids underneath of them, learning, not having much responsibility, but being able to play, putting them on loan, giving them time to mature, so that when they are ready, they can easily move into the squad. But you can't rely on these young kids to put you into these kind of positions. It's just not going to work. And now I see with what's going on this year, we only have 2 weeks, and literally it's fucking unfolding exactly the same as last year. Very disappointing. The year before, very disappointing. Literally 3 fucking years in a row, this shit has happened. And all we're looking is for one midfielder to be the final piece, to be fucking the Alonso with our Mascherano and Stevie G, right? And give us what ultimately, potentially, could be the best midfield in England. And the fact that Zubimendi walked away is very disappointing, because I thought he was the perfect player to fulfill that need. Now I just hope Liverpool isn't fucking sitting on their hands. This is a team that fucking scouts year-round, around the world, right? They should fucking have backups, players in mind, players you could get now for cheaper, maybe because they're not quite as mature as they would be next year, when then teams want to charge you fucking 80 million for them. So I feel you. I'm a very positive Liverpool fan. I'm not going to hate on ownership or hate on management or hate on players, because what we've done has been fucking great. Could we have done more? Could ownership have made maybe a little more risk here and there? Of course they could have. They could have done that consistently, and we would have never been in the position we're in now. Right? The fact is, sometimes they fucking let it roll too long, hope that the players we had were enough, And then inevitably they got old, they were too young, and they just weren't ready to produce. So at this point, let's just fucking get someone in that can actually contribute and really add to the team. I heard them talking about Verratti from PSG. Fuck, get Verratti. Verratti would be great. Verratti's a great player. You add him to our current midfield, he is a fucking huge upgrade. He's 31, so he's old. Sure, but you're not signing him to a 5-year fucking contract. You signed him to a 2 or 3 year contract. He just got paid shitloads of money in Saudi Arabia. He wants to get back to real football, Champions League, right? Something meaningful. You bring him in, and he's a great player to the team. And you only need him for the next 2-3 years. And at that point, obviously, you're hoping that you've developed Troy Mioni, that these other guys have developed, that you bought somebody else, and he's become that player that you've been looking for. But at this point, I'm sitting on my hands, shaking my head, and thinking, fuck, man, if the only person we sign is the goalie from Valencia, who's not even going to be with the squad this year, I'm going to be very disappointed. Still hopeful that the team can play very well. Our midfield is new. They have a whole year under them, so they should be better next year, as long as injuries don't pop up their ugly head again. But then, I've been around long enough to know that injuries have always popped up, whether in our backfield or our midfield. Consistently, fucking injuries have been our bane. And sure, this happens for every team. But like literally, we went from being the best team to being fourth, the best or second best team to them being third, right? All because of injuries and how much it hurt us because we didn't have the depth in the squad. We're relying too much on young players who haven't been developed. And we just couldn't compete with teams with deeper pockets, deeper benches, and that just fucking ran themselves better, more efficiently, right? You look at fucking Man City, you get rid of a player like Cole Palmer, who I felt should have been a starter for fucking England during the Euros this year, was a great player. And the fact that Man City could just get rid of that kid like that. Alvarez, who they just got rid as well this year, right? They're getting rid of players who fucking would start for us. And it makes you question how management and ownership is really running the team. Because no one's asking to spend hundreds of millions of dollars. Not to be like fucking Chelsea and just spend, hoping that seals the cracks. But you could be like other teams that fucking find good young players, are confident that they can develop, sign them for fucking really reasonable amounts of money, and then allow them to develop in the team, right? And I'm not talking young kids that are going to be on the under-21s. I'm talking about kids who've played, who are ready. Obviously, they might not be peaking right now. They're not 27 years old. They're not physically at their best, but they're 22, 21, 23, and have enough experience where they could easily come into the squad, develop with the team, and just get better season by season, right? You look at a lot of the players we signed initially, they came in for underpriced money and developed within the team. Mane, Salah, Firmino, Robertson, right? None of these players were big money transfers that people were fucking clamoring for, and there wasn't much talk about them, but they all developed based on fucking good scouting. And now I ask us now, what's going on with that? How come we're not getting players similar? And how come consistently, year after year, we don't consistently still add players like that? Not that you rely on them, but you know they're going to develop and get better with the team, so that when you do need them, instead of having to spending $100 million, you got this guy who's been with the team 2-3 years and is really ready to fucking take over. But, I'm excited the season's starting. Obviously, this weekend is the first official game. I feel Liverpool's going to look great They're going to win handily, and people are going to sort of lose a lot of the negativity they have. But it's early in the season. I definitely think we're going to come out early and play well, which is a good thing. But then it's a long year, and we're against really good teams like Man City and fucking Arsenal, and teams like Chelsea, Tottenham, Man U, Newcastle. These teams are all getting better. Yet we're hoping that we develop because we have young players who can continue to mature and develop together. But yet we're not adding any type of depth or quality to the squad. And that's a little concerning. It's a little disappointing. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. And remember to like, subscribe, and share. I'd appreciate it a lot. Peace out.